Lockout Monster, a cooperative board game for 2 to 5 players, with multiple levels for ages 5 to 13. The two knights watching from the castle's tower notice a monster approaching. Play together as a team to help the knights lock the monster out before it gets through the fort wall and takes over the castle. Once all the tokens are carefully punched out from the boards, assemble the castle like this and keep it aside for now. This is a one-time step and you may store the castle as is. Connect the 4 game boards like this to form one single board. Place the castle on the center tile here and the 2 knights on top of the castle. This here is the monster's path. Place the monster on the first step of the monster path. This game can be played at 4 levels. We recommend younger kids start at level 1. For level 1, we will only use 4 pairs of locks and keys and 2 monster tokens. So keep any 2 pairs of locks and keys and 1 monster token aside. Since we are using only 4 locks, we use 2 gates to close any 2 of the gateways before we begin. Keep the bridge aside as we won't be needing this until level 4. Turn the tokens upside down like this. Shuffle them up and place them on the dark green square patches randomly like this. The objective is for the players to move the 2 knights around the board to find the right combination of locks and keys to lock the castle gates before the monster reaches the fort entrance here. A gate can be closed every time the knights land on a matching pair of lock and key. For example, if one knight lands on a green key while the other knight is standing on a green lock, you can remove the lock and key and close a gate. In order to win level 1, we need to lock the 4 remaining gates before the monster gets in. The oldest player starts first and the rounds continue clockwise. Players take turn rolling the dice and moving the knights. When you roll 1, 2 or 3 on the dice, you must move any one of the knights by that many spaces in any direction. Knights cannot move diagonally and cannot step on the same spot twice during a turn, but may pass through the castle. Note that all players can control both knights. When a knight lands on a token, open it up to see what it hides. Remember that you need to end the turn on a token to view or claim it and not simply pass through it. As a team, try to remember what each token hides, since you won't be able to open a token unless you land on it. Note that after a knight steps away from a token, it must be kept close until a knight lands on it again. If it's a lock or a key, the next player may decide either to move the same knight to discover other locks and keys, or may let one knight stay on that token and move the other knight to find its pair. When both knights stand on the same colored lock and key at the same time, you may remove the pair of lock and key and lock any gate by placing the gate token on any one of the open gateways. There are 2 scenarios in which the monster moves. If a knight lands on a monster token, the monster moves forward 1 step on its path. Once you land on a monster token, you may remove it from the board for level 1 alone. When you roll the monster, the monster moves 1 step forward on the monster path, getting closer to the fort entrance and the castle. When you roll peek or 1, you may either peek at any one of the tokens on the board to see what it hides without going there and close it back, or you may move 1 step. Except during the beginning of the game, every time a knight lands on the castle, the player may directly move the knight to any other location on the board during the same turn. The monster can move only through the monster path and the bridge. The monster does not move when you peek at a monster token after rolling the peek or move 1 sign. It only moves when you land on a monster token or when you roll the monster on the dice. If the monster is rolled 2 times in a row, the players get to re-roll until the dice rolls differently. The turns continue clockwise. If all the gates are closed before the monster reaches the end of its path here, congratulations, you saved the day. If the monster reaches the end of its path before all the gates are closed, it gets in, takes over the castle, and wins the game. For level 2, restart the game with the same rules as level 1, except that now you need to use 5 sets of lock and key tokens and 3 monster tokens on the board. You'd also place only one gate on any one of the open gateways on the board at the beginning of the game. In this level, you do not get to remove a monster token from the board if you land on one, and need to turn it back and keep it in the same place. If any of the players land on the same monster token, the monster moves again. For level 3, restart the game with the same rules as the previous level, except that you now need to use all 6 sets of lock and key tokens and all 3 monster tokens on the board. Also, all gates will be open with no gate tokens on the board at the beginning of the game. This is the final level. For level 4, restart the game with the same rules as level 3. The only difference is that the monster has now built a bridge to take a shortcut. Place the bridge token to the bottom right side of the board like this. In this level, you can disengage the bridge and remove it by closing any one gate before the monster reaches this spot here to take the shortcut. However, if the monster reaches the bridge here before you close at least one gate, it directly moves to the end of the bridge here, getting much closer to the castle immediately. That's it. Hope you have fun defeating the monster together.